Imagine a world where a single conversation unravels Hollywood's darkest secrets. One call that changes everything.
Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs are fighting a lot of battles on a lot of different fronts lately and likely spent their holiday crafting motions to try to curtail the amount of legal action the disgraced music mogul is facing. But one of the strangest cases involves a Michigan prison inmate who claims that Combs raped him in the 90s. A judge had initially granted a massive $100 million judgment in his favor, but after that was overturned, Derek Cardello Smith is now pushing forward with his lawsuit, and he says he plans to call pop icon Jennifer Lopez as a witness.
In a shocking episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, a bombshell revelation left fans and critics questioning everything they believed about celebrity alliances.
The P. Diddy thing sounds like just complete unchecked depravity. Like, I don't even think he was gay. He was just fucking guys.
But
maybe he's gay, but it seems like he's just
I think you have to be a
depraved.
little gay. Because then he would just be
for sure, at least for like 10 minutes.
he's at least bi.
Well, I mean, it might just be whatever drugs they're taking. Like, I don't understand it. When that whole, like, I think I had peripherally heard that P. Diddy had big parties, but I never heard of freak-offs or any, I never heard of that stuff until pretty recently. Like post-pandemic.
The discussions went beyond politics, science, and pop culture. They delved deep into the interconnected lives of some of the biggest names in the industry.
Coming from New York,
of course.
25, 26 years old. I didn't know anything. And I was like, this is so strange. It was just strange to me to be in these like Hollywood parties with this MTV executive who's taking me around and showing me all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
She was just kind of like introduce you, like, this is what it's like.
Yeah.
This is what everybody does. They go out to the clubs, and it was just...
Yeah. Yeah, the scary thing about LA was that you thought it was all over by 2 o'clock, because they literally pull your drinks at 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go to someone's house.
Right.
And they continue till dawn,
Yeah.
So that was dangerous too.
Yeah.
So I was happy that I got away from that.
Fortunately, I avoided all that.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some fun to be had, no question about it, but
I'm sure
a lot of it was kind of dark too.
The heart of it all, Elon Musk and Joe Rogan set their sights on a story that transcends catchy hits and red carpet glamour.
Sure, if you go to Diddy's house, it probably feels real weird. Probably feels weird walking around that house. Probably like, what happened here?
Yeah.
I bet there's some memories in that house.
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people in the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously, it's like insane.
Publicly, openly, all in.
Yes. It's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend, and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Did you see the Babylon Bees take on it? Did you see the Babylon Bees?
Babylon Bees awesome, but
oh my God, they're so on fire because the left can't say anything. Well, the Onion has been crippled.
Well, the problem is that like the
find that post.
The woke ideology makes like humor illegal.
Yes.
So when like there's so many humor no-fly zones,
right?
You can't make fun of anything.
Yeah. The Babylon Bee had a thing about Kamala Harris. Diddy's ex-girlfriend urges Americans to trust her judgment. Yeah. By the way, you get to see how bad an actress she is, too.
They focused on Jennifer Lopez's silence about Sean Diddy Combs, a once revered icon now facing charges ranging from sex, trafficking, and racketeering to transporting individuals for prostitution. And that's just the beginning.
If she's going to be warning people, why did she never warn anyone about Diddy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so strange to watch play out. It seems like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal where whether he was doing it himself. Conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, the outspoken CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, didn't hold back during the podcast. He called out Jennifer Lopez for staying silent about Diddy's alleged crimes a side of the mogul the music industry may have long recognized but deliberately overlooked.
I mean, but the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids, basically. And yet they still fed him kids. And where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be.
They had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams is talking about it on
exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids?
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him, and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
His statement shocked listeners and sparked a reevaluation of the past, leaving us to wonder what secrets have been buried beneath the layers of glitz and success.
Just as the coverage started to subside, West flipped the script on his X page. So his page has since been removed, and I'll get more on that in a moment, but screenshots of his tweets show he posted in all caps, "Free Puff." He then went on to post or tweet, "All these celebrity N-words and B-words is scared. Y'all will watch our brother rot and never say S." He went on to post, "I stood up for Puff and I'm still winning 20 Grammys next year and doing the Super Bowl." He also tweeted posted that slavery is a choice, which of course got some backlash from other X users. But West seemed to double down as his rant continued with, "What you all gonna do? Cancel my sneaker deal? Cancel my record deal? Freeze my accounts? F y'all N-words. Slavery is a choice. I am speaking my mind now. I ain't editing. S again ever." And he later tweeted, "This man gave his life to us. This is my idol. This is my hero," seemingly referencing Sean Combs.
The narrative shifts dramatically when we examine the allegations against Diddy. Once hailed as a music industry pioneer, he now faces accusations of some of the most severe crimes imaginable.
Quote, defendant Combs sexually assaulted a 17-year-old minor male while at a popular nightclub in New York City. This case seeks compensatory and punitive damages for that sexual assault. The assault occurred in Soho, New York, after Doe was drugged and taken to a private area of a nightclub by Combs' associates. The conduct described herein is shockingly typical of how defendant Sean Combs conducted himself for many years. Many individuals and entities facilitated and conspired with this abhorrent conduct. Sean Combs believed he was above the law. He is not. Now, quite the way to start a lawsuit, right? Now, I will tell you, though, it is very characteristic of the lawsuits that have been filed by the attorney behind this one. I'm talking about Tony Busby, that Texas attorney who apparently represents several Combs accusers.
So where does Jennifer Lopez fit in? Once romantically involved with Diddy from 1999 to 2001, she now finds her past ties to the mogul thrust back into the spotlight.
Having launched a successful career as a dancer and then later an actor, J-Lo, however, had her eyes set on becoming a singer. And instead of taking the usual path into the music industry, J-Lo decided to take a different approach, choosing instead to align herself with Combs. Combs decided he would take from other artists, employ dirty, underhanded tactics, and use his power, money, and prominence in the music industry to make J-Lo's dreams of becoming a successful singer come true. So Combs, along with another powerful music executive, made sure that J-Lo became a star. And in return, Sean Combs received J-Lo's loyalty, support, and most importantly, her silence.
Despite her successful career and outspoken political stances, including a fiery speech at a campaign rally criticizing Donald Trump, Jennifer Lopez has remained noticeably silent on Diddy's arrest and the serious allegations surrounding him.
Her opponent, on the other hand, doesn't see it that way. He has consistently worked to divide us. At Madison Square Garden, he reminded us who he really is and how he really feels. It wasn't just Puerto Ricans that were offended that day, okay? It was every Latino in this country. It was humanity and anyone of decent character.
Some believe her silence is a strategic effort to distance herself from a scandal that could tarnish her hard-earned reputation. Others argue she may not fully grasp the severity of the revelations now coming to light.
If you're attending P. Diddy's parties, I think Ashton Kutcher in one feed was saying, yeah, his parties, Oh, let me tell you about them. Let me think about them. They're wild. Guilty by association. Nobody wants to touch that with a 10-foot pole if you're a celebrity.
And to be clear, not guilty in a court of law, like
no,
because you can go to a party and not commit a crime.
Right.
You just were around it. And the question was it an open secret?
But you're guilty by association in the court of public opinion, right? Yeah. If it comes out that you were attending his parties, everyone's naturally going to think, what were you doing at that party? What was your involvement? Were you involved in the freak-offs? Did you engage in it? It would be a PR night.
Either way, the pressing question remains. Should someone of her influence have spoken out when it mattered most?
I would advise her to speak with the SDNY. I would say if
you
had any information, talk to them and provide it to them, because the most important thing is justice for the people that were wronged in the situation. And then I would say follow their lead. And the prosecutors at the SDNY may tell her, look, we don't want you to make any statements in the media at all about anything you observed, what happened with P. Diddy, your relationship, because again, that would be cannon fodder for cross-examination. Stay away from that. And when we go to trial, make your statement on the stand.
The podcast only heightened the intrigue as Rogan and Musk dissected Diddy's notorious Los Angeles freak parties, a term that barely scratches the surface of the wild rumors surrounding them. Along the way, they made several other shocking revelations in that now infamous episode.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when you know, because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood. And you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these, and you're like, what the fuck? How much of this is real?
There's a lot more real than I think people realize.
Musk's response was swift and cutting, emphasizing that Lopez, once closely tied to Diddy, choosing to stay silent on his alleged crimes, should raise serious red flags.
And the BBC tried to hide that guy was one of the worst, like basically child rapists of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. And looked like one.
He looked like one.
That's what's
honestly,
crazy.
if you had a poster of does this guy look like
the creepiest
like
fucking
an evil,
looking guy.
Evil child rapist, then that 100%.
He made it to the grave. Got away with it.
Yes.
Got away with it till he died. They hid it from people until he died.
But the story doesn't end there. In a typically provocative moment, Rogan speculated that Diddy's infamous parties and his rumored encounters with male celebrities weren't about sexual orientation, but rather a strategic display of power and control.
It's horrific, but it's also hilarious that it was like the big secret that P. Diddy would make a bunch of these guys suck his dick and do weird shit. Oh, do you think the government does it? Well, P. Diddy does it.
Homes in L.A. and Miami raided by federal agents.
Dude, the conspiracies of P. Diddy are like, you know that as above, so below, that like magical shit the rocket scientists say when they jerk off and look in each other's eyes.
What?
As if that weren't enough, even stranger whispers began to surface. Rumors suggesting Diddy's possible connection to a bizarre incident involving Jamie Foxx, a claim Foxx himself once subtly alluded to during a Netflix special taping.
Jamie Foxx addresses whether Diddy was responsible for his 2023 hospitalization during live shows eyewitness. Rob, if you got a clip, play this clip. He's not really saying it here. When I watch this, he's not saying it.
PBD, this is just them saying what we know, but the clip that I sent Rob is of what was his name, Robbie? Big Homie CC.
Good
PBD.
guy, Big Homie CC.
Yeah, because so Pat, you know what's going on. So let me
read the story and I'll come to you
it.
because I thought it was a video there.
Yeah.
During the tapings of his upcoming Netflix special, what had happened was Jamie Foxx reportedly stated that he was responsible for what happened to him, and Foxx is the one who called the FBI on Combs.
For some tier, eyewitnesses claim Foxx hinted at being poisoned by Diddy, an allegation many were quick to dismiss as mere humor.
Jamie Foxx took multiple shots at his old friend P. Diddy during his new Netflix stand-up special, What Happened Was.
The internet said that Puffy tried to kill me. That's what the internet was saying. I know what you're thinking. Did he? Hell no, nigga. I left them parties early. I was out by 9 because something don't look right. It's slippery in here.
Many people were excited to hear what Jamie Foxx would reveal about the Diddy saga on stage, but some are equally skeptical as to why he would not call out Diddy earlier.
Still, the mere mention of such an allegation highlights the unpredictable and chaotic nature of Diddy's public persona.
Jamie Foxx just recently said that P. Diddy poisoned him,
Whoa!
and that's why he got that stroke.
I've heard that.
He talked about it on stage.
He said it?
He said it.
He got poisoned?
He said it.
He goes, I didn't have a heart attack because of the vaccine. It was Diddy shutting me up.
See if we can find that, because he said it on stage.
Diddy was poisoning people?
Bro,
Whoa.
I think there was some crazy shit going on.
Like Cosby shit? Like drugging?
Diddy wasn't even that big.
I think
it was
murders.
could do it.
There's alleged murder. A bunch of people that got pneumonia. A bunch of convenient people that died of pneumonia. Jamie Foxx addresses whether Diddy was responsible for his 2023 hospitalization while filming Netflix special. Holy shit.
Jamie
He
Foxx
talked
has
about
a
it
Netflix
on his
special.
Netflix special.
Though Rogan briefly entertained the idea, he later acknowledged that the truth might be far less dramatic, just an offhand remark blown out of proportion.
Look at this. The audience members had varying accounts of the comedian's words. Two of them claimed that Fox said Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, that he's the one who called the FBI on Diddy, who's currently in prison awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. A source close to Diddy insisted to Daily Mail that there is no truth to Sean Combs putting Jamie Foxx in the hospital.
There's no chance it was a joke.
I mean, yeah, it was a joke, but joke based on
special.
truth or not truth?
It is possible. That's totally
I trust
possible.
the Daily Mail.
That's totally possible, but it's also possible he was explaining while he wound up going to hospital, and he hasn't talked about it since. He never talked about it.
Yet, these whispers add another layer to the mystery, making us question. In a world where every celebrity remark is scrutinized, can any comment truly be taken at face value?
Can you tell me now, is there evidence against any major celebrities that you have, and is there anyone that you can name at this moment?
I'm not going to name anybody right now, but I do have evidence.
Have you had a chance to actually see any videos or text messages or other kind of correspondence that kind of corroborate these stories?
All of the above, yes. And not for all 120 clients. I asked for corroboration. What texts, video, pictures, give me dates, venues, give me witnesses. And, we do that. We go through that process. And that's what we're doing.
In the high-stakes world of fame, success is fleeting. One moment, a figure is praised for innovation, style, and achievement. The next, they're ensnared in controversies that threaten to erase their legacy. For Diddy, the stakes have never been higher. With a trial looming in 2025, every word, connection, and past indiscretion is now under intense scrutiny, placing his entire career under a relentless microscope.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Combs is set to appear in court in May on federal sex trafficking charges. The news came out of a Thursday court hearing. Combs pleaded not guilty last month to charges he abused and exploited multiple victims, some of the allegations dating back years. CBS News New York's Alice Gaynor has more from outside the courthouse.
Sean Diddy Combs' 6 children and his mother sat in the second row of the gallery. When the 54-year-old entered the courtroom, he was wearing a wrinkled tan shirt and matching pants. He smiled and waved at them, a seemingly more upbeat attitude. The judge, newly assigned to the case after the previous judge recused himself, set a May 5th, 2025 trial date. Prosecutors have until December 31st to turn over discovery to the defense. They said over the course of 3 searches of an airport and Combs' LA and Miami residences, they seized 96 electronic devices and several more during and after his arrest.
The question extends beyond guilt or innocence. It's about the systemic failures that have enabled powerful figures to operate unchecked for far too long.
I'm a victim. I'm a product, I should say, of these systems that we all survive in, which is, this sort of capitalist-driven, corporatocracy kind of driven way of merchandising and commercializing every thought and fear and moment that we have in our lives, and never giving us a chance to slow down.
What connects all these threads is a deep sense of betrayal. The very institutions that once celebrated these stars now seem complicit in a system where power and image often outweigh accountability.
I get the real dirt. All I got is a hallway beat up on video. Right. But I need, Bieber's crying, J-Lo's nervous,
If I had to
gay.
guess, this is what I would say. There's a lot, apparently, of famous people involved in this, which means there's a lot of accusers, and there's a lot of money that people won't get if these people go down.
Right.
So if you're a lawyer, and you're involved in this whole thing, the move would be, we could go public with this, and this would be the end. That is not our interest.
Yeah.
Our interest in is a settlement. And then next thing you know,
keep making money off of somebody.
Yeah, someone who's really good at basketball or fucking someone who's like makes
It's all
good songs.
maybe though. It's all maybe.
Someone,
Everyone left the
whatever it
parties
is.
early every time.
It'll be like Epstein, though. It'll be the same thing. It'll be like nobody ever gets in trouble.
Elon Musk's blistering critique and Joe Rogan's unfiltered observations aren't just provocative sound bites. They're a demand for transparency in an industry built on secrets and selective silence.
That prosecutor, though, the guy who said there's some very famous names and you will be stunned at what you'll see.
What, on Diddy or Epstein?
Diddy.
Yeah.
My people will not let those names come out.
But here's the thing. If the videos exists, you don't think that somehow or another this guy's got it in the prosecutor's
Epstein's
office?
never did.
But no one talked about the names, and there was a video, and it was going to come out. It was like they kept quiet about all of it. They never released the names. They never said there was video. No one confirmed anything. It was all just rumor.
Joe Rogan's bombshell revelation and Elon Musk's sharp critique force us to face unsettling truths about Hollywood's power and the cost of fame. With each passing day, this scandal unravels further, exposing a tangled web of personal ties, political allegiances, and systemic corruption that challenges everything we once believed.
When you think about illegal immigration, do you know how many kids are missing? How many
missing and what? Like,
kids that came across the border that are unaccounted for?
I saw a number on like 300,000 or something like that.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Let's say it's only 10% of that.
Sure.
That's still insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. There's thousands and tens of thousands of kids that have been trafficked potentially. I mean, when you know that like sex trafficking and child trafficking is a real thing in the world, it's real.
Yeah.
So if you know that, this whole thing is fucking disgusting and terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people are just turning a blind eye to it because their ideology, the left-wing ideology, supports this idea that immigration is overall good and that you have to be a compassionate person to let these people in.
As the trial nears and more details emerge, the answers to these questions could ultimately reshape the entire conversation around celebrity accountability.
But yeah, so yesterday, Diddy filed a lawsuit against NBC Universal, Peacock, and Amble LLC for defamation or defamatory statements. So he's saying that when they did that whole Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy documentary that we talked about in here, that a lot of the claims and the things that they were accusing him of were completely false. And he's saying he wants $100 million in damages for severe harm to his reputation, economic harm, and the defamatory statements.
Why just NBC? It's been about 5 or 6 documentaries that have come out.
I have no idea.
On top of podcasts and YouTube pages, like it's so many people with stories. Like why you just aiming at NBC?
Is Joe Rogan truly exposing the hidden truths behind Diddy's dark legacy and Jennifer Lopez's silence? Could Elon Musk's fiery take be the catalyst for Hollywood's most shocking scandal yet? Or is this just another twist in the endless maze of celebrity secrets? In the end, it all comes back to one burning question. Why did she have to know? Why did Jennifer Lopez, whose past with Diddy is now under intense scrutiny, choose silence when the stakes had never been higher?
In early 2000s, when J-Lo and Combs were an item, J-Lo adapted to Combs' partying lifestyle, and this went on to cause disastrous results 4 days prior to the start of the new millennium. J-Lo and Combs were arrested and taken into custody in New York, not too far from where Combs is currently locked up today. This event went on to create headline after headline, and despite Combs being charged with very serious crimes, J-Lo remained loyal and by his side. J-Lo has stayed silent all these years about the events that transpired that night, and a lot of mystery still remains today about what really happened. These same silent tactics are being employed by J-Lo in present day whenever she's confronted or asked in any way about Diddy, their relationship, what she saw, and what she knows.
This is interesting, Natanya. Rodney Jones, also known as Little Rod, is now suing Diddy for sexual harassment. That's something that's been in the headlines for the last couple of days. And there's a very interesting quote from his lawsuit that relates back to you. that I want to read because it sort of ties all of this together. And it says, Jones claims in the lawsuit, Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. So now you have Little Rod in this new lawsuit saying that Diddy told him that he actually was responsible. I mean, what did you think when you read that?
Well, I was incensed for a number of reasons. First and foremost, for the past quarter of a century, he's vehemently denied that he was responsible, even though I knew wholeheartedly, and as so many others who were in the club that night, we all knew he was responsible.
Stay ahead of every shocking update. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The truth is unfolding, and you won't want to miss a single moment of it.